record. Well, good morning, everyone, and welcome to another Black Belt Business webinar. And today we're going to be talking about choosing the right systems. What is the right software system for your business? And I've been doing a lot of research on this over the last few months because we're trying to make clients' life easier here at Black Belt Business. And to do that, having a great software system is one of the best things to have a look at. So, guys, let me just flick through the usual stuff. This webinar is designed to help with your systems in your business. We take full responsibility for the positive changes to your business after implementation. And guys, welcome. And please make sure that you ask as many questions as you can. I'm going to be keeping the chat open today because I want this to be fairly interactive. I want you guys to ask questions. And go from there. So please type any questions on your GoToMeeting bar down here, or GoToWebinar bar, sorry. You can raise your hands up in this little area here. If you do need to minimize because you're chasing up on Facebook, you're doing work, you're doing email, and not concentrating on the webinar, naughty, please, you can minimize and maximize the screen over there somewhere. So, guys, let's get cracked into it. Just a tiny bit about me. I run a few businesses. I've got students of 140 students that I teach, mostly kids, and about 50 adults. And I love working with business owners and giving them the strategies to grow and move forward. And one of the best things that I actually had happened to me this morning is one of my clients is taking after 9 years in business, is taking 4 weeks off in Europe. And he rang me up and he said, look, I wouldn't be able to do this if it wasn't for you. And that's always a great way to start a Friday morning. So it's just amazing on the results business owners get when they start implementing some really good strategies to help them get where they need to. And the best benefit is this topic we're going to talk about today really impacts that type of ability to be able to travel and still be able to touch base with work and all of that. And I'm going to go through a lot of that stuff with you. So make sure you ask questions as we go out. Guys, we normally do a warm up before any class at Hapkido that I do. We want to make sure we're warmed up so we don't break anything, tear a ligament or something to that effect. So, guys, if you want to warm up, let's do, raise your hands nice and high. Bet you're not doing it, but let's do it nice and high and stretching. And oh my goodness, all fun and games. All right, so let's get stuck into it, guys. Now, quick question for you, and please whack in the questions to answer. Do you guys have a good system or a good computer system or business system currently in your business? Do you have one? Can you just whack in the questions for me? The reason I'm not actually bringing up a poll that you can easily tick is last webinar, it actually stuffed the screen for the entire webinar. If you're on that, you probably remember what I'm talking about. So I'm just getting you to go right into questions there for me. What is it having a good system or computer system? Do you have one in your business? Do you actually use it? And is it a benefit? So whack in the questions for me, guys, and just let me know. And just whack in if you don't, just put nope, or you're going to ask what questions. Thanks, Susan. Excellent, Haley. Only job management. Great. Few more answers, guys, if you don't mind. No, okay, there you go. That's good, Gary. 0, Evernote. And what's that? Insight, is it? Yep. Yep, I know, and I hear you, Shane, on that one. Not really, but wanting one makes life easier, and I'll talk to you about that in a second. All right, so what I might do, I might continue on. I'll have those questions keep coming up, guys. So, quite simply, and this is a huge factor about computer systems out there, and I'm learning every day about computer systems. We don't know what we don't know. We don't know there's systems out there to do half the stuff that would probably make our life easier. And one, I guess that's why you're on a webinar, but reality is there are so many things that are possible out there in computer systems that's not funny. And I mean making life really, really easier for you guys. And this is the thing we've got to actually look at. And the whole idea of the webinar today is asking the right questions to get the right system in place. What is it that you need to do? And I'm going to take you through a whole heap of questioning that you guys can use to go and find that right system. And that's very, very important that we actually ask those right questions. And, I was with a client yesterday and we're looking at putting in a job management system, a quoting tool, and we're looking at linking it to Zero. And effectively, we thought, right, we've found the right system. And as soon as we started to play with it, within an hour, we realized, my goodness, everyone's raving about this system, but it's not going to fit for that organization. And I'm finding it more and more. There are so many systems out there, but reality is there one that's going to do everything that you need? No, there's not. And here's a rule that I actually always give clients when looking at systems. If it can do 85% of what you need, then you've got a great system. Unless you're building the system by yourself and you're going to go and spend thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars building a system, you really it's going to be very, very complicated or very hard to find an all-encompassing system to do everything that you want off the shelf. And what I mean by off the shelf, it means you buy it off someone who's already written a system. Is there rewards these days for actually going and creating your own system? You know what? There is. It's not as expensive as what it used to be. I used to install accounting systems, inventory management systems into places like Gloria Jean's Coffee head office, Napoleon Purtis Cosmetics. I know the guys on the phone call know what I'm talking about when I say that. Napoleon Purtis, all the cosmetics that they wear, I'm sure. And I used to install all the software systems in those organizations. And reality is they couldn't actually come up with something that could do everything that they needed to. So you've got to really make sure that you're aware that you may or may not. I'm not saying it's not impossible, but you've got to realize that rule. If it can do 85% of what you're looking for reasonably well, you've got a great system if you buy it off the shelf. So, what is a system all about? It's about making your life easier. And this is what it's all about. And, you've got to be clear that, a system is supposed to make life easy. Do you know how many systems I walk into organizations and it's not easier? They're actually sitting there spending most of the time entering in the data systems that ultimately don't give them any good results at the end of the day. So the whole idea of a system is make your life easier in the day-to-day running of your business. And I'm going to give you a whole heap of systems today. I'm not aligned to any systems. I don't get commissions. I will stress that. I don't get commissions off anyone. All I want to do is make sure that you guys or my clients have the best system to make their life easier. And I recommend I won't say hundreds, but I recommend a whole range of different systems depending on the needs of the particular client. So, this is a problem that I always find when people enter or create a new system. They don't need to go and do it, but what they do is they go and work out a way to sabotage it straight up. And they will always try and sabotage what they actually need to put in for the system, because you're going to have team members go, oh, I don't like this. I don't want to go near this. Oh, this is taking too much time. Why do we have to change? You get a whole heap of that actually happening out there. If you can't adapt to change, guys, then reality is keep the systems that you're doing. Is the system that you've actually got working for what you need? And if it is, why change? So many people just change for the sake of changing. But you know what? You've got to be open to actually change and not avoid what can ultimately be a good decision in your business. And this is very, very important we need to look at. And I'm going to tell you a rule at the end about running these systems and what you've actually got to go through to actually implement a really good system for you guys. So, let's get stuck into it. Oh, by the way, I didn't mention before, this webinar won't go for the full hour. What I want to do is open it up for any questions. If you've got any questions, I can actually do some real life demos of systems if you want. I have no problems doing that whatsoever. So please feel free to actually ask what you want. Now, here's the thing. How do we actually go and choose the right systems for you? Well, I know some of you guys might be able to relate with our little friend on the screen now. I know that I've always related to paperwork being, oh my goodness, absolutely everywhere. But one of the things you got to realize, the first thing you want to do when you're looking at the system is what won't you compromise on? What is it that you will not compromise whatsoever on? Does the system have to do X, Y, and Z? And if it does, then that's the top three things, the top five things that the system must do that you do not compromise on. So many people will look at a system and go, well, it doesn't do the thing that I really want to do, but it does everything else. Okay, I'll just go and buy it. Well, that's not the right way around. You want to actually have no compromise whatsoever on the system that you're actually looking at. If it's there as a marketing tool, then don't compromise on that marketing tool. Don't compromise whatsoever. And this is very, very important. The other thing you don't want to compromise on is price. You've got to weigh up. Yes, you may pay for an expensive system. And I worked out doing this webinar that I pay over $800 a month in computer systems to run my business. And some of you guys are sitting there going, wow, $800 a month. But once you understand, and I'll actually show you what I do in my business to make my life easier, you'll understand that $800 is going to be well worth it at the end of the day. And it is well worth it. You know, the system I'm using now, GoToWebinar, is costing me over $100 to use. But I use GoToWebinar every 2 or 3 days to do stuff on, and it makes my life easier. And if I've got a client having a problem with one of their systems, or they want me to show them to do something, I use GoToWebinar to actually remote their computer, and I can actually fix stuff on their computer if I need to. So, this is a thing that we're talking about with no compromise. How much of a benefit is it going to be for you versus the cost that it actually is? The other thing you want to actually ask yourself is, do you want to encapsulate absolutely everything? Now, one of the troubles that I'm finding out there is I'm finding it hard to find a system that has everything. And if you're a tradie or you're in a trade organization, I have found a system that does encapsulate absolutely most things. There are one or two things that it doesn't, which is a bit disappointing, but it actually encapsulates a whole range of things, from marketing tools, from CRM, from sales tools, sales funnels, quoting tools, scheduling tools, job management tools, profit and loss reporting on jobs. It encapsulates absolutely everything. And, if you're a tradie or a trade organization. So, I have found a system that actually will do that. But overall, is that everything that you need? And you need to be very, very, what's the word for it? Not careful, but you need to weigh up, is that exactly what you actually need? So, and again, there are so many systems out there, guys. To write a computer system these days is actually quite quick and easy for a lot of people to actually do. You can build websites in literally an hour, and you can have really cool looking websites within an hour. 5 years ago, it would have taken, 5 weeks to do exactly the same thing. But this is all about making your life easier. So you need to be clear. The second thing you want to have a look at is you need to be clear on everything you want to actually put in the system. And let me go and break that down for you now, right? And I want to actually take this bit by bit about the different areas of your business and the different systems that you could actually have in place. And when I talked about that encapsulation, I want you to actually say, right, does this or does this not need to be actually into my in my business? Do I need this in my business as we actually go through it? So, first things first, marketing. What computer systems to make your life easier in marketing do you actually have? Now, let's think about marketing as such. All marketing is a communication tool. What type of systems should you be putting into place in regards to your marketing? What can you actually be using? And the best way that we actually look at in terms of marketing is, stuff like MailChimp. If you haven't heard of MailChimp, it's a newsletter program. iContact's a great little newsletter program as well. There's, how do we actually look at communicating with those people? Does the system you need the easy ability to have that marketing in? Does those systems hook into your website so you can easily actually add this person to your newsletter or for specials or something like that? Do you have systems on your website that can actually easily promote specials for you if that's what you actually need? Marketing is all about communication, and there's some really, really, really great communication tools out there. But it's all about, and we talk about making your life easier, it's all about having a good automated marketing tool. And personally, I use a system called Infusionsoft. I don't know if anyone's heard of Infusionsoft. It's just an amazing marketing tool for me in my business, and it makes life easier. And the reason why I find it easy, and guys, I will actually demonstrate what I'm talking about when we talk about marketing. Let me just hopefully make sure this works. Let me go back. All right. So this is Infusionsoft that I've actually got here, and you're probably looking at this going, okay, there's a couple of diagrams with a couple of lines and all of that. But what this actually is this is my marketing to get out there for this webinar. And before Ash, who's my admin marketing lady, went on her honeymoon, lucky her, she's still probably over in France at the moment. Literally, she went and came in and wrote a whole heap of emails to actually send out to people. And when it comes up, you may or may not have got these emails. Let's say you would have, because that's why you're on the webinar. What you'll actually find, hello, internet speed. Love it. Sorry, guys, my internet where I live is not too good. And for people who are overseas, we've got the NBN being rolled out, and I don't think we're getting it in our area until probably 2050. So here is an email that was written by Ashley over 5 or 6 weeks ago, and reality is we actually say it's right. Send it out on the 1st of June at 8 p.m. Now you're thinking 8 p.m. This is American time. It's an American system. Send that email. Then on the 9th of June, go and send that email. And then on the 22nd of June, which was only 4 days ago, go and send that email. And it automatically sent that email. But what this system will also do is come in and actually set up your form for when you register it. So when you actually registered online, it actually had that form, which is then actually embedded into the actual back end of the website. And automatically, what it actually does is actually goes and tells it to do stuff. Go and actually say that you've actually signed up for this webinar. So you can actually categorize the people that signs up, and it automatically adds it to the actual database. So when you're actually going to replay this webinar, it will actually do this. And as you can see, it's just purely drag and drop. I can literally come in here and go, you know what? I want to actually set another date timer on that particular day, and then I want to create another email over here, and then how do I actually write the email? And you can just use email and off you go from there. You can write that 6 months in advance, and then automatically it will actually go off and do exactly what you need to. This is all about marketing and making your life easier. So it's really, really good that way. And I've noticed you've raised your hands. Can you just whack in the questions if you want to ask any questions or something like that, if you don't mind? So what you can see here is you can easily have some really cool marketing automation systems. Does MailChimp do automation like that? Yes, at a very basic level. But there are systems out there that make your life easier. I use Infusionsoft for my marketing, but I also use it to actually do all my payments, my subscription payments. Anyone that signs up on Hapkido, they give me their credit card details. It'll automatically do monthly subscriptions. It also does my CRM, my full contact database. If I wanted to email out 200 people or 200 students now in my Hapkido school, I can easily just go bang, 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 send an email, type the email, hit send, bang, sent to 200 people. And it'll actually track who opens, who doesn't open, and all of that type of stuff. So, these are the things that you've actually got to look at in a marketing automation tool, and the systems that are actually out there. Some really, really nice tools. Is there something that's better than Infusionsoft? I'm not going to say better or everyone's horses for courses. Is BMW better than Mercedes? Well, I know there's a big, you guys might debate that. It's like anything. It's what you actually need for your business and what you prefer. Now, what are the drawbacks of something like Infusionsoft? Well, reality is it costs me probably 280, I think. It's around between 280 and 300 a month, depending on the US dollar. There's almost $300 a month to actually run a particular system. But again, it takes out all of my students' payments. I do not even need to think about it. It takes out my clients' payments. I don't need to think about it. I set it up. It just runs and does it all for me. If I wanted an automated system like that through the bank, it's probably going to cost me way more than that in fees at the end of the the day. So this is what you've got to look at in regards to your marketing. What type of marketing do you want to get out there, and what systems do you need to actually put in place for that particular marketing? And there's so many others. If you actually typed in Infusionsoft comparisons into Google, you'll have other systems out there. There's Omniport. Uh, there's another one I'm trying to think of now. Not Navision. There's another one anyway. There are a whole heap of different types of systems out there that help run your business. So you've got to have a look at, right, do I want my system to do my marketing? Now, the key question is, I guess the next point is your sales. And I treat marketing and sales completely different. Marketing is getting the lead to you. How do you actually manage that lead? And then once that leads to you, what do you need to do to sell them? Or what do you need to sell to them to actually get the sale? And what system do you actually need? And I'm a big believer of having a CRM in place. And if you don't know what a CRM is, it's a customer relation management tool. This is where you actually track the lead. What's happening with that lead out there? When was the last time you contacted them? It will remind you to follow them up. You can put your quotes into CRM systems. You can then find out how much money is worth and outstanding. And it's really funny. I walked into a organization, this is about 5 years ago, and I said, hey guys, show me the last 6 months worth of leads that you've actually done and the last 6 months of quotes. And they've sat there and gone, okay, they're all on the computer somewhere in different folders and all of that. And I said, so how do you know when to follow them back up? I remember how to do it. I said, you don't even put it in your diary. And it's like, no. And I've gone, okay. We implemented a really basic CRM system. We've actually went back and in a week's worth of tasks, we put all those quotes for the last 6 months in there, what they could find and remember they could find. And there was over $1 million worth of sales in there. We actually spent the next week ringing these people up, finding out if they wanted more work. We actually generated $380,000 worth of work within that next week just by actually following up and ringing these people and by monitoring the system. And reality is every time they did a quote now, it took them 2 minutes to update it in the system. It took them 1 minute to add a task to follow up, and bang, off it went. And so many people don't have those systems in place. They do not have a basic follow-up system in place in their business. And that's the thing. Have you got a good CRM system? Okay, got sound back? Okay, I just heard you lost some sound there, guys. It's probably my internet, so I do apologize. So the key is, and let me ask this question to you guys, do you guys have a good CRM in place? And if so, I'd love to hear what it is, actually. I'm going to give you a couple that are really, really good, that I find are really good and really easy to use and very cost effective. So do you guys have a good CRM in place or a way to track your leads and all of that? Yep, Insightly. And Gary, I'm sure Insightly's a pretty good little one there. Nothing yet. Okay, good, Shane. Looking for a good CRM. Fantastic. Now, here's the thing. I know, guys, you're probably still typing there. Thanks, Zora. Guys, the thing that you've got to look at with a decent CRM is, do you want it included into the rest of the things you need to do in the business? Do you want it to also do your marketing? This is what I talk about encapsulation. And you're going to sit there and go, but how do I know if I need it or not? Well, you've got to map out your processes. So many people don't map out what their processes are. And if I asked you guys, do you have a fully detailed sales process? The answer is probably more than likely going to be no. And if you do, I'm going to take my hat off to you, because reality is most people don't have that. But if you had an actual sales process in front of you, you can then get a system to be actually run that sales process all the time, over and over and over again. And then when that sales process turns to the job, have you got a good job process and how the job actually needs to be installed, or how the product's bought, or how the service is delivered? A lot of people don't have that. And then they wonder why the systems don't get implemented correctly, because they don't have those processes in place first. And one of the things that I highly suggest with you guys before putting any systems in place is document your process flow. And we are talking about one A4 bit of paper where you grab a pen and you go, right, step 1, I actually email the prospect to say, looking forward to seeing him next week for the quote. I confirm their address, blah, 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 blah. Step 2, I send them out a information pack. Step 3, I ring them the day before. Step 4, I then turn up on site. Step 5, I write up the quote. Step 6, I do that. Every one of those processes, a system that you actually get should be able to tell you what stage of that process that you're at in within the sales, and what you've got to do next. And if it doesn't, you probably don't have a good CRM. And we lose sales because we lose contact. Most of your prospects and customers don't think you don't buy off you because they probably don't think you're ever still around. You don't care about them, or you haven't delivered enough value at the end of the day. And, I'll quickly talk about sales. And this is something I want you guys to think about. Working with a client, what he does in his sales process, and he has his system tell him to do this, is once he's got the lead in, he'll actually book it into his diary. As soon as that's booked in, it will send an automated email to the particular customer that actually says, hey guys, looking forward to seeing you tomorrow. Here's the address. I'll be there at 6 o'clock. And let me just outline what we normally run on this session. What I'll do is I'll come in, I'll ask you a whole heap of questions, then I'll show you a solution. Now, that's not exactly the worded email, by the way, guys. I'm just going through what it actually roughly says. And then after that, I'm going to show you how easy it is to get started. By the way, I've got a coffee shop. I've noticed there's a coffee shop around the corner from you. If you like any coffee, I'm happy to pick you up one. Just let me know what you'd want in a coffee and go from there. You know what? 80% of people say I don't want the coffee, so it saves them a bit of time. The 20% that do absolutely love what he actually brings their coffee with, and then it already tells them out. But as soon as he books that lead in, automatically that goes. You've got that sales systems where you put a diary entry in and an SMS automatically goes. There are systems out there that will actually do that for you quite easily. But again, we need to look at the systems that you need to put in place. So this is extremely, extremely important to look at. So what are some good little systems in sales? The ones that I've used, and I used a couple, and I know quite a few clients use this. I like Capsule CRM. It's free up to 250 contacts. So for some of the small businesses out there, you can pretty much run it for free up until 250. Then you're looking at roughly $12 a month. There's stuff like Zoho out there. Infusionsoft will also do your sales as well, the one I mentioned. But again, you're looking up into the pricey area there. There are going to be job management systems that have CRMs in place as well. So if you're like a tradie and need workflow management or job costing and all of that, your job costing system should have a decent CRM in place. There is stuff like Gary was talking about there, Infinity CRM. These are all fairly cost-effective systems that can actually get you focused back on the ball, and it doesn't take too much time. I love there's Sugar CRM, by the way. I like Capsule CRM for the mere fact that it actually has tracks. And what a track is as soon as you put the lead in, as soon as you put the quote in, you actually assign that quote to a track. And what a track is a follow-up system. And it will automatically email you when you've got to follow that quote back up. It will just email you. It will say, hey, 2 days after you put that quote into the system, tell it to send me an email to ring the customer. Bang, it sends it to them automatically. An email, bang, to follow up that customer. 5 days later, after you actually put that quote in, boom, it will send another email to say, hey, you need to ring this customer again. You've got some really awesome little tools like that help with sales. And, let's face reality, guys, there's not many people that I know that can follow their sales process religiously over and over and over again. And the ones that do, I can tell you now, have a really, really, really good good sales conversion rate. It's just incredible. So, there's some things that I want you to think about. As I said, there's some great CRMs out there. I'm going to show you a website where you can get some really cool ideas on all of these different types of systems. I'll show you that shortly. Now, operations. Operations is customer service? How do you deliver the products? And you know what? Most of your customer service experiences come from your CRM. You know, do you send out birthday cards to clients? Do you actually send out warranty renewals if warranties are out to date? Do you actually send that information to customers automatically? A good CRM should have that customer service experience for you. And reality is, we go back to the CRMs. It's always about having a good system to put all of that information in there. A freight system. If you're delivering products by freight, having a good freight system in place, hooked into your product ordering system or whatever it is, needs to actually show consignment note numbers, tracking numbers. Is it being tracked? You know, these are all things that are actually easy to actually run in your business. For your customer services and operations. So what you need to look at is, do you need a system to deliver your products to? You know, you might be project management stuff and you might be delivering services. You know, there's stuff out there like Evernote and Rike. I don't know if you guys have ever heard of them. But these are good collaboration tools where you can set up some project management items with your customers or clients, to be able to actually enter, and be able to collaborate with documents, and all of that type of stuff. Very, very cost effective systems. I think Evernote's free up until a certain point. So, you know, there's some really, really good ways to actually look at handling that. Um, Finance and admin, guys, I guess this is one of the most important things. I think everyone here on the call should have a accounting system. They're either running Xero, they're running Quicken, they're running MyOb. There's Cashflow Manager. There's a whole heap of financial and admin systems out there. Normally have payroll systems attached to it. So there's some really, really good systems out there like that. Just bear with me. I'm going to have a quick drink. Okay, so do you actually utilize those systems actually correctly? What type of information are you putting in? Do you run your budgets in these systems? Do you actually run the reporting out of these systems? What type of reports do you want? Did you know most of these systems have some really, really good plugins that will automatically, do stuff? Like Xero doesn't have a job costing tool, but there is about 80 different job costing tools that will attach to Xero, and invoices will automatically go in, payments automatically go into Xero. MyOb, there's quite a few. There's a whole heap of things that you actually have out there that will do that. And let's look at project management tools. Is it easy to actually put timesheets in? Is it easy to put invoices in? These are the things we need to look at. Does it give you the reports that you want? Does it tell you whereabouts of the stage of the project that you're actually at? These are the things that we actually need to ask that. And most of the clients that I work with need those project management tools in place. And the ones that I've actually been working on, that I've been actually recommending recently, have been stuff like Workflow Max, has been Work Etc., has been GeoOps, is a great small little tool for service-based businesses. SimPro is really, really cool. All of them have their advantages and disadvantages. There's Tradeify, there's Builder's Trend if you're a builder. You have all of these really cool little project management tools. Some of them are expensive, some of them not, to actually track what you need to. If you're a service-based business, you don't need to go into that level. But you have a look at, if you're running Xero, for instance, and you need a good sales CRM, I know Capsule links automatically to Xero, so there's no duplication actually happening. As soon as you enter a customer into, or a prospect into, Xero, or vice versa, Capsule automatically upload into Xero. So there's no duplication. It's saving you time and energy. Same with all these project management tools out there. Now I want to break that down a tiny bit more, guys, and let me start having a look at the benefits and the non-benefits. SimPro, for instance, is great for the electrical trades. Excellent at scheduling. If you need to schedule your team out there, excellent at scheduling teams. Very good at quoting. Very good at inventory control. So if you actually run inventory, so it's a really good handy tool. It has an okay CRM, and I will say it's an okay CRM. It has a good quoting follow-up tool, but there's no marketing automation in it. It won't put marketing in there for you. Workflow Max, great job management tool, has excellent job management. It's got great tasks, set up templates. Right, I've just won this job. Boom, 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 boom. It will automatically lay all of that out there. You'll assign the person to the job, done. But it doesn't have scheduling. The CRM is really average. It doesn't do follow-up appointments or tasks or anything like that. Yes, you can get around it, but it's really clunky to get around it. But if you just need purely job management for the business and you schedule elsewhere, then you don't need to worry about that. I look at Work Etc. that has a marketing tool in it, which is a MailChimp effectively. It sends out all your marketing tools. It has a really good lead follow-up system. It has a very good CRM. It has a very good scheduling system. Has a very good project management, though it doesn't handle entering expenses and all of that the best. There's a bit of duplication there, but it has a very range of things. But then we start looking at pricing. Workflow Max is roughly $99 for 10 users. Work Etc. is $195 US for free users. SimPro is roughly around. I think it's $69 for an office user and then $29 for on-field, on-site Techo users. But how much time will this actually save? GeoOps is something like $30 for 5 users, but again, it's not going to have a good CRM. It's not going to have all of those tools for you that you actually need. So you've got to really be aware that you might have to forego something to make your life easier out there, and it may not do 100% of what you're looking at. So I would actually be looking at, if you want an all-encompassing one and you're happy to spend the money, something like Work Etc. is really cool. SimPro is really cool. Workflow Max is great if you just want to do job management and tracking. If you don't need any of the job managements, I look at something like Capsule CRM, Salesforce, Zoho, if you need some really good tracking, lead management tracking, prospect tracking, and all of that. Inventory control. Work Etc. doesn't do inventory control. SimPro does. Unleashed is a great and it is a good inventory control management system. You'll probably notice every system I'm talking about here, these are all cloud-based. I'm not going into the systems that aren't cloud-based. I used to install a software package called Jiwa. Absolutely phenomenal system. If you're actually in warehousing and inventory control, it was brilliant. You could run any reports that you want. It did all your marketing for you. It did all your lead follow-ups. Great CRM. But again, you're looking at $30,000 for a basic 5-user install. So you've got the people on the line. I don't know if you're looking for something like that. So these are the things that you actually need to look at in the different systems out there. What about your team? What type of systems do you need for your team? And this is where we think about all the HR systems. This is where we think about systems like SimTrack. And SimTrack is vehicle tracking to make sure if you've got people going out on the road that the vehicles are tracked. What about something like Deputy, where it's time tracking? If you need someone to do time cards, Deputy is a great little system. The payroll systems that you like, the HR systems. What about the project management systems, and do we need to track their times on jobs? Is that easy for them to actually do? These are the things that you actually want to look at when you actually write team. What is it that you actually want to look at, and what's going to make your life easier managing team? If you're a service-based business and you want to actually have document control, I look at stuff like Rike and Evernote, because you can actually have multiple team members on there, and you can actually say, right, this task needs to go and get done. So if you need to allocate tasks to someone, but you don't need this all-encompassing system, then stuff like Rike and Evernote, even Google Apps, Google Calendar, Google for Business is absolutely brilliant. I'll talk to you about Google for Business in a second. These are the things that you actually want to actually have a look at with your team. You might want to track their HR performance. What about tracking workplace health and safety issues and concerns? Are there systems out there that do that? Absolutely. So you can actually have a look at getting systems to do all of that for you. Now, what about systems themselves? Now, computer systems we're talking about today. I want to actually have a look at the systems that that you need to actually run. How do you actually track your workplace health and safety procedures and policy documents? Are they just a Word document that's given to someone? Can they easily be uploaded into a system that they can actually look at? And you know what? I'm working on a system at the moment which is a wiki web-based system where all the procedure manuals are actually entered into the wiki. So any client, not any client, but any team member can be out there and they can actually be on site, grab their mobile, go into the wiki and go, okay, I need to know how to change this device. Bang, they see it. There's a procedure manual on how to change it. They can watch a video on it and off they go. And that's with them running around without having to store up their disk space on their phone with a whole heap of videos that they've been given. So having a wiki in place would be a good thing to actually track all your systems, procedures, policies, contracts that you actually give to clients to sign. Where do you track them? How do you track them? These are the things that you actually need to look at when putting in a good system. And what about you? What type of systems do you need? What diary systems are you actually using? What emailing systems are you doing? What planning systems to make sure you're actually getting it done? What are the different systems that you actually need for yourself? One of the things that I've done recently is gone to Google Apps for Business. Absolutely love it. It's $5 a user. All my emails are kept online. I can actually log into any device, have all my emails, have all the directory structures, have all the filed emails, have all the deleted emails, all my documents. Google Apps comes with a Dropbox system, so you don't have to pay for Dropbox, for instance. You can use Google Drive and have all your documents wherever you want them to have them. It can almost, for small business, it can almost replace a server effectively. So you don't have to have a server out there. You can keep all your documents online. All your emails are there. If your computer crashes, you'll have all your history. You never need to worry about backups because if Google doesn't back up, then they're going to be in for some massive lawsuits. It has calendar. You can share calendars with people. You can use automated systems on your website to say book your calendar entry now using these type of systems. All of this will make your life so much easier. And I got to admit, I love Google Apps, and I've been installing it at quite a few clients lately, and they absolutely love it. $5 a user a month for something like that. It's a really, really good system to actually have everything in one place, and it just makes life easier. And the good news is it actually integrates with those project management systems and scheduling systems. I've just recently implemented Power. Oh, it's not recently. It's been a couple of years. We implemented into a medical practice a program called Power Diary. Power Diary links automatically to a Google Calendar. A Google Calendar item. So what happens is when the doctor gets a new appointment in there, they go to their calendar for their next day, and they don't have to log into Power Diary, which is cumbersome. They just enter straight into. They just look in their Google Calendar diary on their phone, and bang, it's automatically linked. The diaries are automatically linked, and you've got everything in one spot. It's things like that that just make your life easier and really, really make it so you don't have to worry about anything. Capsule will link into your Google Calendar. Things like Work, etc., have a Microsoft Outlook integration. So if someone sends you an email and it comes up in Microsoft Outlook, you could actually right click on that thing and go, do you want to actually attach that email to that CRM system? Bang, and it automatically attaches it. So if all of a sudden someone comes back 6 months later and instead of sifting through all the emails, they just go to the contact, there's that email for the contact, bang, it's all there for you. Again, making life easier for you. And this is what a system is there to actually do. And there are some really, really good systems out there that can actually do that for you that are very, very cost effective. Now, remember at the beginning, by the way, that's it for all the different things you need to look at from from a business point of view. One of the things you need to have a look at is a system is only as good as what you enter it. And if you're not willing to spend the time to actually get it set up, to learn it, to do all of that, it's pointless. I've seen so many people implement a system, half-ass it, and then, 3 months later going, this is crap. This is costing me absolutely a whole heap of bucket of money. It's crap. It's and I sit there and I go, okay, tell me what's wrong with it. And they go, it can't do this. Well, yes, it can. All you do is go here, here. Oh, is that how you do it? Oh, it can't do that. Oh, okay. Well, that's how you do it. These are the things that you've got to be committed to. If you're going to put any type of system in place, you need to be committed to implementing it. And here's the golden rule, guys. You need to give it 8 weeks. It's going to be 8 weeks of cumbersome, oh my goodness, this is bad. I'm wasting time because I'm sitting here data entry stuff and it's not working and, it's taking me way longer. After 8 weeks, you'll find that it's actually going to be great. You have everything there. The team will love it by then. We've actually let team members go because they refuse to use the new systems, the new job management systems. They refuse to actually put their times in there. We've actually let people go because they wouldn't use a new system. Get new people in, guess what? Absolutely love the system, and they got told to use it, and they're using it. It's so interesting. And I'm going to be honest, guys, most of the issues that I have with implementing systems or recommending systems for people who implement in business is normally it's the business owners, not the one who's actually doing it properly. They're the ones cutting corner because they're way too busy doing everything else. I want you guys to make a commitment. If you're going to put a decent system in place, give it 8 weeks and put 100% commitment into it. Because if you don't, the system is not going to actually work. So, you've got to give it a commitment process. So, bringing it all together, what I want to do is look at, how do we bring all of this together to make your life easier? First of all, write down your no compromise things. This system needs to be able to do this, right? You need to be realistic, though. If you want it to make coffee for you in the morning, then it's probably going to cost you, I don't know, 10 grand to get the automated system to do that. And you know what? There are systems out there that will make you coffee in the morning, but it costs a damn well lot of money to implement it. So you've got to have a look at, you've got to be realistic at the end of the day as well. What is it that you need? The second thing that I would actually do is write your processes out just on a scrap bit of paper and say, here is the process. And there's nothing wrong with doing this. If you found a system that you want to work with, those processes, you actually send that process that you've written down to the support desk for that system, whatever it is, and say, I want my system to actually run this process. Can you give me a half an hour demonstration and show me how that process would work in your system? What I find with doing that is the people will go through it and they go, okay, but I really needed to do that. They'll probably go, oh, no, we can't do that. You then need to make the call whether or not it can't. The client that I had yesterday, who we actually have been playing with this system for about a week and a half, we actually says, right, let's look at the process. Let's get them on the line. They rang us back within half an hour and we said, we need it to do this. And they've turned around and they've gone, we can't do that. And I've gone, okay, that is a deal breaker. So we've actually gone ahead and wasted a week. I don't call it a waste. I call it a great investment of time to actually remove that system. Even though it's been highly recommended to them by their accountant, highly recommended to it by someone else, it has been removed as a part of list of what to use. So make sure you do that. Get your processes out and what you want it to actually do. And just remember, you don't know what you don't know. So the next thing you probably need to do is ask the questions. Go and ask people what they're actually using. Go and look at some of your competitors and find out what systems they're using because they might be working absolutely fine. And the other thing you want to do is go talk to your association. If you've got an association like a builders association and all of that, ask them the systems that they actually recommend. That will actually, help you find out what is out there and what's not. There are systems out there that are purely built for your industry. I guarantee it. Doesn't matter what you are. If you're a travel manager or you own a travel company, guess what? There are systems built for travel companies out there. There are systems built for electricians. There are systems built for architects. There are systems built for lawyers. there are systems built out there. Have a look at those systems. Find out if they're the ones right for you. This is about bringing it together. Honestly, I actually take people away from systems. They've been paying for systems for 2 years. They're paying $300-400 a month or whatever it is. And I actually take them back to Google Apps and just say, let's do everything in here because it's going to do the same thing, save you time, save you energy and money. And we do that. And they're absolutely ecstatic. And all it's doing is costing them $5 per email per month. And that's it. You know, so these are the things that we actually have to look at when it comes to bringing all of this together. Very, very important that we actually look at that. Now, one of the things that I did suggest, and you can do this, let me see if this is going to work. Now, one of the things that I always send people to when they say, look, can I actually find a system? One of the things, and you are limited, but under xero.com, xero.com, you can go to more and go to the add-on marketplace. And what this will actually do is show you all the systems that link with Xero that these guys recommend. Now, one thing that I actually do here is you browse by categories and you come in and you go, right, what do you want? So you might want invoicing and jobs, for instance, and it will actually show you all those items. So this one has invoicing, jobs, and time tracking. This one has invoicing, jobs, and time tracking. Invoicing, jobs. As you know with SimPro, inventory, invoicing, and jobs. It also has a good CRM in there as well. GeoOps is great for invoicing, jobs, and time tracking. This will actually have all of these different types of systems that you can actually get in contact with. As I said, Workflow Max is great. The CRM is average and it doesn't have scheduling in there. So if you need something with scheduling, probably not the best tool to actually use. If you purely mainly need scheduling, SimPro has a great great scheduling tool. So you can actually go into here and actually visit their websites. You can show more and look at all the different ones. And this is a Work Etc. one that I was showing you that has most of the things in there. It just doesn't have purchase ordering and it doesn't have expenses. You can put expenses in against the job, but you can't actually do it. Look at all of them in there, invoicing jobs, and you can just go through these and have a look. If you want a good CRM, go here, good CRM. This is your sales management workflow tools. Watch what comes up in here when it takes forever. Capsule comes up. Constant Contact's okay. High Rise is okay. Base CRM is good. Work Etc. comes up because it has a good CRM. Salesforce is in here. Agile's there. Legrand's actually not too bad. MailChimp as well. So you can have links to that. Sugar CRM, which I think I mentioned. Infusionsoft is linking to Xero and stuff like that. Zoho's great. Microsoft Dynamics, again, a bigger one. A lot bigger CRM system. So you can see that they're all of these systems all in one place. And your idea is to find one that can actually do it all effectively at the end of the day. Smart Trade, there you go. So Haley's saying Smart Trade, which is good, cheaper than SimPro and great on support. So again, Smart Trade's actually in here. Let me go back to invoicing jobs. So this is the one that Haley's currently using in their business. Tradeify's not too bad either. If you're a salon, simple salon, you can see that. I'm pretty sure I've seen Smart Trade. Oh, there it is there. There you go. Smart Trade's in here. So, the thing is, the time to research, it's good to, research a lot of good systems out there. I'm more than happy to point you in the right directions. If you give me what your process flows, I can tell you what systems can and can't do it because I do a lot of stuff on this. But, Smart Trade is actually quite good, as Haley said. I can't say whether it is or not. I've never really played in it. But, these are the things that we actually need to look at and maybe have a think about the shortfalls, what you aren't doing. I've got a client that actually runs Xero Unleash as their inventory system and Capsule as their CRM, and they actually just manage that absolutely perfectly for what they're actually doing. So, guys, I'm open up now to any questions. More than happy to do anything, let me actually type. Actually, let me just do that for you. Let me just put that in the go to menu bar. So in the chat section, guys, I've just put, or in the question sections, I've just put that link that you can go check that out. There are other programs out there. If you're using MyOb, for instance, go to MyOb integrations and it will list all the systems that integrate with MyOb, Quicken or Reckon, or QuickBooks, whichever way you want to put it. There are some really, really good systems out there, but you've just got to find one that manages you. And, let's put it this way. If you need accounting, now is important. If you're going to change your accounting system here in Australia, the 30th of June is now time to do it. So, because you start 1st of July, but your project management system can be done anytime. The CRM can be done at any time. You don't have to do these systems on the 1st of July. The only one you need to worry about is your payroll system. Your payroll and your accounting system should be done on the 1st of July. That will save your accountant a bit of heart attack. So, guys, I'm going to open it up to questions. I'm just looking at all my notes. I can see that I've actually gone through everything. You'd be shocked at the systems out there, but again, it's about freeing up your time, and that's what it's all about. And think about the process that you're currently doing. You want to find a system to run those processes to make your life easy. So, let me know if you've got any questions, guys. Cough, cough, cough. I love my chest infection. All going good. Yep, absolutely. Haley, Google Apps, you can be limited to stuff only, not to public at all. So you can actually lock down the folders in there that'll only be people in your thing. The thing that I find with Google Apps, and let me just quickly run a cancel that. Hopefully you're still with me, guys. I do hope you're still with me. My system decided to want to shut down. The thing that I find, if I go to Google, the thing I like about Google is once you're in Google, you're already signed into Google Apps, and it's really cool. So I'm already signed in. So if I wanted to get my email, I can just click on email. But if I wanted to get my email from here, it's exactly the same email. So if I make a change in my regular Mac mail, or I use Mac or Outlook or whatever, it will automatically update that same change in your mail system here. But you've got all of these different options that you can actually run. You've got your calendar, which can be locked down purely to your staff. And every staff member can have their own calendar, and you can share that, you can add it, you can change it, but no other people can see it. It's only you guys that can actually see it. You've got Google Drive. You've got documents that can be edited on the fly. So Word documents, Excel documents, and all of that can be edited inside a web browser. So you can be overseas, open up an Excel spreadsheet that you want to update, bang, you can update it straight here on the web browser, no problems at all. PowerPoint presentations, but there's so much more to this that it's not funny. You can set up different groups and collaboration with groups. This is all for $5 a month for a user. You can have all your photos. So people are around site, they take photos, they upload it to the job, to maybe a folder called Job XYZ, and have all the photos there. Your CRM system can do that as well, or some of the project management systems or job costing systems. There are so many things that you can actually do with Google. It's not funny. And it's all in one, and you can just set it up to go to town on it. You can actually build website and free survey forms. So if you want to survey clients, you can actually create free forms in here that actually, people can actually just fill in survey forms. And, if you want staff to give you some stuff, bang, you can just set up forms. Guys, it's pretty endless on what you can actually do in here. Web-based meetings. I use GoToMeetings, but you can use Hangouts, and it's free. So you can actually do like Skype meetings, but webinar meetings and all of that. So many good options for Google. It really is. So I've been absolutely loving the change to Google, and it's been making my life easier out there. And any changes you make on your phone, if you do an email on your phone, it automatically updates your Outlook or your Mac mail, and it also updates the website as well automatically. So there are so many cool things things. It's way better than a standard IMAP in a standard mail application or a standard hosting. You can do so much more with it. It's not funny. So, really, really, really good functionality. So, any more questions, guys, before we finish? Okay, no. Google Mail aren't like a MailChimp. And if you try and send XF Mail, if you try and go, I got contacts in there of 500 contacts, and you actually go and send that out of Google Mail, Google Mail will come back and say, bugger off, go and use a dedicated emailing service to do this. So, no, I wouldn't recommend using Google Mail for marketing blast. I would definitely still use your MailChimps, your iContacts, your Magic Mail, your Infusionsoft, your there's heaps of them. So I would definitely be using that. Be careful about sending mass emails. In my host that I use for my website, if I tried to send more than 500 emails in an hour, it will actually lock my emails completely out. It will go, you are spamming using this server, go away. You're locked out. So I don't recommend doing that type of stuff. Please use the systems like MailChimp. MailChimp's free up to 2,000 email addresses. So if you're sending more than 2,000, then you've got a good database and pay for the privilege of marketing that database. You should be marketing that database anyway, sending out updates every 2 to 3 to 4 weeks of what's happening in the organization. So you should be doing that as good business practice anyway, guys. So MailChimp and all of that are probably the best way to actually go. All right. Any more questions, everyone? I know we've been right on an hour, which is good. I was actually expecting this to go really fast. Now, guys, let me talk to you. If more questions are coming up, great. Look, guys, at the end of the day, if you want help and asking the right system, send me your processes. I'll do it for free. There's no way. But I work with businesses, growing businesses, using systems, helping them implement systems, but also showing them the marketing they should be doing, critiquing their marketing, working with their team, putting the right finance and admin, the right KPIs in place, the right business strategies, and making you actually do it. So we do have some one-to-one spots available. I got to admit, when I did get ready for this webinar, I did have a couple. Now I've got only a couple, probably 2 left for the monthly spots. So if you want help with your business, just let me know. Just call out to me. I'm more than happy to chat to you. If you don't have the budget, I'm still happy to chat to you about getting the right things in place for you guys. So, guys, at the end of the day, can you just let me know the number one thing you got out of today and tell me what could I have done different? Is there something that I could have done different in this type of webinar? Because reality is it's hard to actually, with everyone having different businesses, to have a webinar come together. So just what did you get out of today, if you don't mind? If you could just whack that in the comments quickly. And number one thing you got from today and how this could have actually been better. I always love feedback, and please, guys, anything negative is absolutely fine. I do not take it personally. Most of you guys not on the call, I know where you live, so it's okay. So I'm joking. Number one thing you got from this webinar, if you don't mind, and what else could we have done better on a webinar like this? I have been asked to do webinars like this on particular systems. The problem that I've got with that is you can actually get mostly live demonstrations and videos already on most of the systems out there on their website. So I'd be doubling up on stuff like that, and you'd get a better one from that one. Okay, thanks, Haley. All right, anyone else? Okay, great, Shane. And if you got a hand, just let me know the processes you're trying to put in place, and I can guarantee I've ever heard of a system, or I know of someone that has heard of a system, and I can put you in contact with them. Yeah, no problems, Susan. Totally and utterly agree with that. And reality is, it's just make sure your processes are done. Give them to the software company. Most people don't do that. They go and download the free trial. No, don't do that first. Give them your processes and say, can your system do this? Very important to actually do that. All right, guys, thank you very, very much for your time. Go and enjoy your Friday if you're here in Australia. If you're overseas, then enjoy your Thursday evening. And I'm looking forward to the next webinar, which is on something, but I'll let you guys know about it anyway. All right, everyone, have fun, and I'm looking forward to talking to you very, very shortly. All right, talk to you soon. Bye.